Have you ever felt completely drained after a conversation with someone? Like they literally sucked all the energy right out of you and you couldn't even pinpoint how it happened? If that sounds familiar, chances are you've encountered a narcissist. These masters of manipulation thrive on your emotions and attention. But what if I told you there are 5 simple phrases that affect them like kryptonite? 5 phrases that won't just stop them in their tracks, but will cause them to completely lose all interest in you. In this video, I'm going to reveal these verbal keys that will help you regain control and peace of mind, and make sure you stick around till the very end, because the last phrase is the shortest yet the most powerful. Ready to learn how to switch off the narcissist in your life? Before we dive into the phrases, let's take a quick look inside the narcissist's mind. What is it that they want from you? They crave what's called narcissistic supply. This supply can take many forms: adoration, fear, intense arguments, your tears, your time, basically any strong emotional reaction that confirms their significance and gives them a sense of control. Think of them as an actor who constantly needs applause, or at least booing. The main thing they absolutely cannot handle is silence from the audience. Therefore, our goal isn't to beat them in an argument. That's impossible. They'll just change the rules of the game. Our goal is to create that deafening silence. We need to stop being an engaging audience member and a source of supply. The 5 phrases we're about to discuss are specifically designed to do just that. They are not aggressive, but they set firm, unshakable boundaries and clearly signal that the show is over. You are officially out of their drama. So the first phrase that completely stops a narcissist dead in their tracks is incredibly simple. I disagree with your point of view. You might think, what's the big deal? But to a narcissist, this hits them like a bolt from the blue. They live in an illusory world where their opinion is the absolute, unchanging law of the universe. Anyone who disagrees is automatically either stupid or doing it specifically to spite them. By delivering this line calmly and confidently, you achieve something truly profound. You assert your intellectual autonomy. You prove that you are a separate individual with your own functioning mind, not just an echo of their ideas. This is a direct hit to their grandiose ego. They expect you to argue, justify yourself, or try to change their mind, thereby drawing you into their game. Instead, you simply state the fact you have a different opinion, and that's it. Full stop. What happens the moment you utter the words, "I disagree"? Brace yourself for the counterstrike. The narcissist might immediately start devaluing you, saying things like, "You just don't understand," or "That's simply too complicated for you." He might try to mock your perspective or bombard you with convoluted, pseudo-logical arguments just to prove his superior knowledge. His goal is singular: to push you back into a subservient position, make you doubt yourself, and force you to agree with him once again. It is crucial to understand that his reaction isn't an attempt to find the truth. It is the sheer panic attack of his ego. He loses control, and this immediately devolves into either explosive rage or a state of condescending instruction. He simply cannot accept that you exist as an equal thinker. For him, this is a violation of every rule in his world, a world where he must remain the sole, undisputed authority. The psychological impact of this strategy on a narcissist is devastating. It strips him of his primary fuel in intellectual arguments, your involvement. When you stop trying to win the debate and simply state your disagreement, you become a broken toy to him. He can no longer play his favorite game, "I am the smartest person in the room." You demonstrate that your self-worth is not reliant on his approval. This instantly makes you an incredibly boring and uninteresting target for manipulation. Why would he bother wasting energy on someone who doesn't succumb to his intellectual pressure? He will quickly move on to find someone else, someone who will either listen to him in awe or, at the very least, argue with him fiercely. Your calm disagreement signals that there is simply no further supply for him here. How do you use this phrase correctly? The key to success is the tone and the absence of any further explanation. Say it calmly, firmly, and maintain direct eye contact. Do not add because or start listing all your arguments. The moment you start justifying yourself or trying to prove a point, you lose, because you are falling right back into their game. Your job isn't to convince them, but simply to clearly state your position. After you deliver the line, "I disagree with your point of view," take a moment and pause. If they try to pressure you, just repeat the sentiment in a slightly different form. "I have a different opinion on this," or "I simply see this differently." Do not engage in a debate. Your calm composure and confidence will disarm them far more powerfully than the strongest possible argument. Let's move on to the second phrase. This is an incredibly powerful tool for shutting down pointless conflicts. The phrase is, "I will not discuss this." It's especially effective when the narcissist tries to rope you into what's known as word salad, that incoherent flood of accusations, dredging up old hurts and illogical insults. The entire goal of this behavior is to throw you off balance, force you onto the defensive, and bury you under a mountain of guilt. The narcissist thrives on drama, and they will provoke you into a confrontation time and time again. By saying, "I will not discuss this," you are simply refusing to take the stage. You deny them the opportunity to start their performance. You are demonstrating that the topic is closed, and you are simply not willing to expend your energy on this destructive dialogue. When is this phrase absolutely essential? First and foremost, when the narcissist tries to drag up the past and blame you for mistakes you made long ago, or when they start criticizing your appearance, your friends, or your passions, essentially anything you hold dear. This is their way of devaluing you just to boost their own ego. The phrase also works perfectly when they try to pick a fight over nothing just to get a dose of adrenaline and your attention, for example, over a misplaced coffee cup. It's crucial to understand that the goal of these discussions isn't solving the problem, but fueling the conflict itself. By refusing to engage, you deny them the one thing they truly want, the emotional reaction and the high-stakes drama they so desperately crave. Imagine the sheer frustration of a narcissist who has prepped an entire speech full of accusations and manipulation only for you to simply say, "I don't want to talk about this." It's like walking into a boxing ring only to have the opponent immediately walk out. All that pent-up aggression and those carefully crafted verbal jabs are left completely unutilized. He is left alone with his rage with absolutely no one to project it onto. This instantly causes immense frustration and a profound sense of powerlessness. He failed to get the reaction he craved. He couldn't wound you, and he certainly couldn't drag you into his game. To him, you suddenly become predictably uninteresting. He realizes that his provocations simply don't work on you anymore, and if that's the case, there's no longer any point in even trying them. He has just lost one of his most powerful levers of control over you. The number one rule when you use the phrase, "I won't discuss this," is consistency. Once you say it, you must be prepared to immediately terminate the conversation on that subject. If the narcissist persists, do not give in. You can physically leave the room, put on your headphones, or just change the subject to something completely neutral, like, "Looks like we might get rain tomorrow." Crucially, do not give any explanation as to why you are refusing to discuss the topic. He will use any explanation as a hook or leverage to prolong the dialogue. If you say, "I can't talk because I'm tired," he'll counter with, "Oh, you're tired? Does that mean I exhaust you?" Instead, simply and firmly state, "This topic is closed." This phrase is your shield, reflecting all his attempts to drag you into a toxic dialogue. The third phrase is the absolute masterclass in dealing with a manipulator. It sounds like this: I understand your feelings, but I'm going to do things my way. This is an incredibly powerful technique because it consists of two parts that completely throw a narcissist off balance. The first part, I understand your feelings, is what we call partial validation. You are not agreeing that they are right. You are simply acknowledging that they have the right to feel what they feel, be it anger, resentment, or frustration. This momentarily disarms them because they are expecting resistance, but instead they receive a small sliver of understanding. They believe they have almost won. But then comes the second devastating element, but I'm going to do things my way. The second half of that statement completely invalidates his attempt at control. You've successfully shown that his feelings have been acknowledged, but simultaneously made it clear that they do not dictate your decisions or actions. You are separating his emotional state from your inherent right to live your own life. To a narcissist, this is simply inconceivable. In their world, if they are unhappy about something, everyone around them must immediately drop everything to soothe them or comply with their demands. Your phrase shatters that entire dynamic. It demonstrates a mature and healthy stance. Your emotions are your responsibility, and my actions are mine. This is a powerful gut punch to his inherent self-centeredness. You aren't arguing with him, nor are you justifying yourself. You are simply presenting him with the undeniable fact of your complete independence. What does the narcissist feel when he hears this? Utter confusion. He genuinely doesn't know how to react. On the one hand, you seem to have validated him, and that leaves him with nothing to latch on to escalate a conflict. He certainly can't accuse you of being insensitive. On the other hand, he gained absolutely zero control over the situation. You stuck to your decision. This duality throws him into immediate cognitive dissonance. He cannot attack you using his usual methods. You did not give in to his emotional manipulation or blackmail. By consistently repeating this pattern of behavior, you are gradually training him to realize that his tantrums, wounded feelings, and anger are no longer effective tools for controlling you. He loses his power, and with it, he loses interest entirely. Let's look at a practical example. A narcissist might say, I am furious that you're going out with your friends on Friday. You clearly don't think about me at all. Instead of getting defensive or making excuses like saying, but we already agreed on this, or attacking back with a jab like, when was the last time you stayed home? You simply respond calmly. You say, I understand you are upset about my plans, and I am sorry that you feel that way. However, I am still going to this get-together. You acknowledge their feeling, their anger, but you did not acknowledge their right to control your time. You refuse to allow their emotions to become your responsibility. This strategy takes practice, but it is one of the most effective ways to set firm boundaries while maintaining your composure and avoiding pointless, drawn-out arguments. The fourth phrase acts as your personal emergency brake in high-pressure situations. It sounds like this: I need time to think about it, I'll answer later. Narcissists absolutely love manufacturing an atmosphere of urgency and chaos. They constantly pressure you for immediate decisions, quick answers, and instant compliance. They hit you with lines like, decide now, or give me a straight yes or no. Why do they do this? Simple. When you are under extreme pressure, you are far more susceptible to manipulation. You don't have time to weigh the pros and cons or listen to your own intuition. You are significantly more likely to make a decision that benefits the narcissist and not yourself. By deploying the line, I need time to think, you strip them of that crucial pressure tactic. You take back control over the most valuable resource you have, your time. This single phrase destroys one of the narcissist's key tactics, the creation of false urgency. They are trying to back you into a corner, forcing you to make an emotional decision instead of relying on logic. When you take a pause, you immediately step outside of that emotional whirlwind. It gives you the chance to calmly assess the situation, consult someone you trust, and truly figure out what you want. This is exactly what the narcissist fears most. They want you to be impulsive and reactive. Instead, you demonstrate composure, good judgment, and thoroughness. You show that your decisions are not dependent on their whims or demands. You become the master of your own time and your own choices. This makes you an extremely inconvenient and difficult target to manipulate. A narcissist views anyone who takes time to reflect as unpredictable and uncontrollable. They can't predict your next move, nor can they be sure you'll eventually agree to their terms. This uncertainty is deeply irritating and exhausting to them because they are accustomed to receiving instant gratification. Your pause is a direct refusal of that satisfaction. The narcissist realizes that dealing with you will require a tedious, drawn-out effort with no guaranteed success. It's much easier for them to simply find someone else who will make decisions at their dictation. Ultimately, your habit of taking a pause will slowly deter them from trying to force their solutions. You become too high effort, too energy-intensive for them to bother with. It's crucial to understand that this phrase is not a sign of weakness or indecisiveness. On the contrary, it's a profound manifestation of immense inner strength and self-respect. It's your declaration that you value yourself and your decisions too highly to rush them or make them under pressure. When you speak these words, deliver them with confidence. Don't apologize. You are not obliged to give anyone an immediate answer. Saying, "I need to consider your proposal, I'll get back to you with an answer tomorrow," is absolutely normal and healthy communication. If a narcissist continues to push, perhaps by saying, "What is there to think about?" calmly repeat, "I still need time." Your composure will show him that his attempts at pressure are completely useless. And finally, phrase number 5, the shortest, the simplest, yet the most potent. It's the word many of us are afraid to utter without explanation or apology. That word is no, simply no. Not no because I have other plans, and not I'm sorry, I'd love to, but I just can't. But a simple, clean, confident no. To a narcissist, someone who truly believes the world revolves entirely around their desires, this single word is like hitting a concrete wall. They can't maneuver around it, and they certainly can't debate it. It is a final, non-negotiable refusal that leaves them zero room for further manipulation. This is the strongest form of personal boundary setting you can possibly imagine. Why is it so hard for us to just say no, especially when dealing with emotional manipulators? We're taught from childhood to be polite, accommodating, and never to upset people. We're afraid of looking selfish. Narcissists sense this vulnerability instantly and exploit it. They know that the moment you start explaining why you're saying no, they have something to latch onto. They'll counter with things like, "You have other plans, mine are more urgent," or "You can't do it, just try, I believe in you." For them, any explanation is the beginning of a negotiation or a debate. When you simply say no, you deny them that opportunity. You don't give them any information they can weaponize against you. You simply shut the door. It takes courage, but the outcome is absolutely worth it. A narcissist's reaction to a clear no can be explosive. They might fly into a rage, accusing you of being selfish, cruel, or heartless. This is what's known as narcissistic rage, the agony of their ego realizing it hasn't gotten its way. It is vital at this point not to panic or concede. Their anger is simply another manipulation, a final, desperate attempt to reclaim control. If you hold your ground, they will learn a critical lesson. You are a person whose will cannot be imposed upon. They might sulk or give you the silent treatment, but eventually they will realize their tactics don't work on you, and that means you are no longer interesting to them as a source of narcissistic supply. Practicing saying no is just like strengthening a muscle. Start small. Try saying no to a minor request. Don't explain why. Just practice the exchange. Can you do this for me? No. Now observe the reaction. Each time you do it, it will become easier and you'll feel more confident. Remember this crucial point. No is a complete sentence. You do not owe anyone an explanation or an apology for your decision or your right to decline. Once a narcissist understands that your no is firm, that it's not an invitation to negotiate or debate, they will stop bothering you with their endless requests and demands. They will simply move on to find a more compliant target, and you, finally, will have achieved freedom and peace. Let's wrap this up. We've covered 5 incredibly powerful key phrases, the ultimate energy shields, that instantly block a narcissist's access to your energy. Number 1, I disagree with your perspective. This is the core declaration of your intellectual independence. Number 2, I will not discuss this. This is your definitive refusal to participate in their drama. Number 3, I understand your feelings, but I'll be proceeding with my own plan. This is the disarming combination of validation and firm boundary assertion. Number 4, I need time to think. This immediately returns control over your time and your decisions back to you. And the 5th, the most crucial one of all, a simple, firm no. But here is the ultimate secret, the plot twist, if you will. It's not actually about the words themselves. It's about the profound internal shift that happens the moment you start saying them. You stop being a passive participant in their performance, and you step up to become the director of your own life. These phrases are simply tools designed to help you recognize and declare your inherent power and self-worth. You aren't just pushing the narcissist away, you are taking yourself back. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you found this information useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, I have a question for you. Which of these 5 phrases feels the most difficult for you to actually say out loud? Or maybe you have your own proven anti-manipulation phrase that works every time. Share your experience in the comments below. Let's build a supportive community and help each other out.